I thought the hardest part of coming to Pakistan alone would be landing. But I was wrong. The hardest part was realizing how quickly this country was entering my heart. I woke up that morning to the sound of distant azan. Not loud, not forced, just floating through the air. Like a reminder that time moves differently here. Outside my window the city was already awake. Tea boiling. Shops opening. Lives unfolding. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a stranger watching from the outside. I felt present. I stepped out with no plan. No checklist. No must-see places. Just my camera. And a quiet curiosity. Everyone told me Pakistan would be intense. Overwhelming. Too much. But what they didn't tell me was how gentle it could be. A man smiled and held a door open. A woman fixed my scarf without saying a word. A child waved like we already knew each other. And suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. Not because people surrounded me, but because I felt seen. Without being questioned. I walked through streets where time felt layered. Old walls holding new dreams. History breathing next to modern chaos. Everywhere I went, people asked the same thing. Why are you here? And every time, I struggled to answer. Because the truth was, I didn't come to see Pakistan. I came to feel something again. Back home, everything is scheduled, optimized, explained. But here, life happens in between. Between cups of chai. Between conversations that start with "Where are you from?" and end with "You are family now." I sat on a plastic chair, drinking tea that was too sweet, listening to stories I didn't fully understand, yet somehow felt deeply. This country doesn't rush you. It invites you to stay, to sit, to breathe, to listen. And slowly, without asking permission, it teaches you patience. Days passed, and I stopped counting them. I stopped checking messages, stopped performing happiness, stopped proving anything. I started waking up slower, walking longer, noticing small things. The way shopkeepers remember your face. The way strangers worry about your safety like it's their responsibility. The way generosity exists without expectations. One evening, I stood on a rooftop watching the sky turn orange. And it hit me. I wasn't traveling anymore. I was living. There were moments of discomfort, of confusion, of cultural differences that challenged me. But never once did I feel unsafe. Fear dissolved quickly here, replaced by something warmer. Trust. People didn't just welcome me. They protected me. And in that protection, I found freedom. I realized something important. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Sometimes, it means being finally honest with yourself. Pakistan didn't demand anything from me. It didn't ask me to be brave, or strong, or inspirational. It allowed me to just exist. And that was everything. I didn't realize how deeply Pakistan was changing me. Until one day I caught myself smiling for no reason. Not at my camera. Not for a story. But at the moment itself. I was walking through a neighborhood where everyone seemed to know each other. Men arguing loudly, then laughing even louder. Women sharing vegetables and stories. Children running barefoot chasing nothing and everything. And somehow, I felt included. Without introduction. Back home, belonging always came with conditions. Here, It came with chai. Everywhere I went, someone insisted I sit. Sit. Rest. Drink. Eat. As if movement itself was optional. As if being present mattered more than being productive. I started noticing how often people here pause. They pause to talk. Pause to listen. Pause to help. No one seemed in a hurry to become something else. And that made me question my own life. How often did I rush? How often did I ignore moments? How often did I confuse movement with meaning? One afternoon, I got lost. Not dramatically. No panic. No fear. Just a wrong turn. Then another. My phone battery was dying. And for the first time, I didn't reach for anxiety. I reached for trust. I asked a stranger for directions. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked with me. For 10 minutes. Then 20. Until we reached my destination. He smiled. Said welcome. And walked away. No name. No expectation. No story for social media. Just kindness. I realized something then. Pakistan doesn't show itself immediately. It waits. It watches how you walk. How you speak. How you treat people. And slowly, if you let it, it opens its heart. Evenings became my favorite. The light softer. The noise calmer. The air filled with conversations and prayer. I would sit somewhere random. On a step. On a chair. Sometimes just on the ground. Watching life happen. And for once, I wasn't documenting everything. Some moments, I kept only for myself. I started understanding that safety isn't just about places. It's about people. And the people here held space for me. They asked questions, but never invaded. They were curious, but never judgmental. They wanted to know my story, not change it. And slowly, my walls came down. I talked about fear, about loneliness, about why I chose to come alone. And no one laughed. No one dismissed it. They listened. Really listened. That night, back in my room, I sat in silence. No music. No scrolling. Just me. And the echo of the day. And I felt something unfamiliar. Peace. Not the loud kind. Not the dramatic kind. The quiet kind. That doesn't ask for attention. I thought about how many people warned me. Don't go. It's dangerous. It's not safe. You'll regret it. But none of them had been here. None of them had felt this. Pakistan wasn't perfect. But it was honest. And honesty felt safer than perfection. As days went on, I stopped being a visitor. Shopkeepers remembered my order. Neighbors greeted me. Children waved without hesitation. I had arrived. Without realizing it. And somewhere between lost streets and shared tea, I found something I didn't know I was missing. Connection. Not loud. Not forced. Real. There was a moment, somewhere in the middle of my journey, when I realized this place was no longer testing me. It was trusting me. I started having conversations that didn't feel like interviews. No "where are you from?" followed by quick conclusions. But slow questions. How do you feel here? What surprised you? What do you miss? Questions that weren't trying to place me, but understand me. One afternoon, I was invited into a home. Not planned. Not arranged. Just a simple gesture. Come inside. I hesitated. Out of habit. Out of conditioning. But something in their eyes told me. This was safe. Inside. Time slowed. The room filled with laughter. With the smell of food. With voices overlapping and interrupting. Someone handed me a cup of tea. Another offered food. Another adjusted the cushion behind my back. No one asked me to explain myself. They treated my presence like it was normal. And that broke something open in me. Because back home, being different often requires explanation. Here, it didn't. They asked about my family. About my life. About why I travel. And when I said, I travel alone, no one looked shocked. No one tried to protect me from myself. They simply nodded. As if independence was understood. Not questioned. I listened more than I spoke. Stories of struggle. Of resilience. Of humor surviving hardship. And I realized. This country has carried so much. Yet still chooses generosity. That evening. As I left the house. Someone walked me halfway. Just to make sure I was okay. Not because I asked. Because they cared. And in that moment, I felt something shift. Fear no longer sat in my chest. Trust did. I thought about all the narratives. The headlines. The assumptions. How easily places are reduced to single stories. Pakistan is often spoken about in fragments. But living here, even briefly, showed me the whole. Complex. Contradictory. Kind. There were still moments. When I felt out of place. When language failed me. When customs confused me. But never once did I feel unwanted. I learned that safety isn't silence. It's being surrounded by people who notice you. Who look out for you. Without control. Nights became reflective. I would lie awake listening to the city breathe. Cars in the distance. Voices fading. Prayers rising. And I thought about how alone I thought I wanted to be. But what I actually needed was connection without pressure. Pakistan gave me that. Not through grand gestures, but through small consistent kindness. And that made it unforgettable. There is always a moment on every journey when you realize you are not the same person who arrived. For me, that moment came quietly. No dramatic scene. No music swelling. No big realization. Just a feeling. I was sitting somewhere ordinary. A place I wouldn't remember on a map. Watching people pass. Watching life unfold without me in the center. And I felt complete. Not excited. Not overwhelmed. Content. That scared me a little. Because contentment doesn't shout. It whispers. I realized I had stopped counting the days. Stopped thinking about what comes next. Pakistan had pulled me into the present. Without force. I wasn't waiting for the journey to begin anymore. It already had. I started noticing how deeply I had softened. I trusted strangers. I accepted help. I allowed things to be unfinished. Back home, I always needed closure. Here, I learned to let moments stay open. One evening, I missed home. Not in a heavy way. Just a gentle ache. And instead of pushing it away, I let it sit with me. I walked through streets glowing under soft lights. The air thick with food and conversation. And I understood something. This place wasn't replacing my home. It was expanding it. I no longer felt like a visitor passing through. I felt like a guest. And there is a difference. A visitor observes. A guest belongs. People stopped asking how long I would stay. They asked, "When will you come back?" And that question stayed with me. I thought about how often we measure journeys. By distance. By duration. By content. But some journeys can't be measured. They change the way you carry yourself. The way you meet the world. Pakistan taught me how to arrive. Without rushing. How to stay. Without clinging. It taught me that strength can be soft. That safety can be warm. That solitude doesn't have to be lonely. I didn't come here to find answers. But I found something better. Peace with not knowing. And once you find that, leaving becomes complicated. I knew the end was coming. Long before I admitted it. Not because my ticket was booked. But because something inside me had settled. The days no longer felt like experiences. They felt like memories in the making. I walked slower. Looked longer. Listened deeper. As if I was trying to absorb what couldn't be packed. There is a strange sadness that comes with feeling at home. In a place you will eventually leave. Pakistan had stopped being a destination. It had become a chapter. One morning, I woke up before sunrise. The city still half asleep. The air cool and gentle. And I realized, this journey had never been about travel. It was about unlearning. Unlearning fear. Unlearning urgency. Unlearning the need to explain myself. Pakistan didn't change who I am. It reminded me of who I was. Before the world got loud, I thought about the people who welcomed me without knowing my story, who trusted me without needing proof. Their kindness rewrote my understanding of safety. Not once did I feel like I had to be brave. I was simply allowed to be. And that might be the rarest gift of all. As the days counted themselves down, I felt gratitude instead of sadness. Because some places aren't meant to be held onto. They are meant to be carried. Pakistan is one of them. I didn't leave with souvenirs. I left with perspective. With patience. With trust. With the knowledge that being alone doesn't mean being unprotected. Sometimes, it means being surrounded in ways you didn't expect. This wasn't a story about a woman traveling alone. It was a story about a country that held space for her. And as I stepped away, I knew this wasn't goodbye. It was see you again. Because some places don't let you leave completely. They stay with you. Quietly. Forever.